Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. I got Chris Kidd in the house here every week talking about what's going on in the business, financial, and even as it relates to the sports and entertainment front. I love the stuff he does. We have a lot of fun together. He does great work over there at chriskidd.com. He's got his column over at priceofbusiness.com, plus contributes frequently at usdailyreview.com. You stay pretty busy, man.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
Absolutely. And you're bringing back a guest that I think was a great one from 2014, and delighted to see that we're going to have him back on again. But before you introduce him, tell the audience about exactly all that you do. And I also want to mention chriskidd, KIDD.com, where you can get more information about Chris. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, like you said, I stay busy, so I do a lot. But as far as my financial coaching, I work with individuals, business owners, athletes, people from all walks of life, and really just how to work with them on their finances to either create a plan that's going to help them build wealth if they need help getting out of debt, and also handling investments and stuff and learning more about it, not necessarily selling any type of investments or managing anybody's money, but teaching them how that they can kind of keep tabs on their own and understand what's going on with it. And my guest today is Jay Peroni. He's a good friend of mine. He's a certified financial planner. He is an author of The Faith-Based Millionaire and Faith-Based Investor, and he runs the wallstreetrenegade.com, which is it's a popular site for investors. And good to have you on, Jay.
Hey, Chris. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate the opportunity.
Jay, how long have you been doing what you do?
Nearly 2 decades. I started way back in 1998. So we've been through a couple booms and busts here over the last couple of decades.
Very good. Go ahead there, Chris.
Yeah, you've got a lot of experience in the financial world, Jay. What is it that kind of led you to that? I know we just did an article on thepriceofbusiness.com that has a little bit about that, but share a little bit of what made you take this path.
Yeah, really, it started with my grandfather, who was just the hardest working guy I knew. The guy had 7 kids, worked any job he could, sometimes 2-3 jobs at a time, and just barely was able to save. He just never made more than $30,000 a year, just came from the Great Depression era and just saved, and then got to retirement, and eventually the nursing home, taxes, and inflation just ate his entire portfolio. And as a teenager, I saw this and just said, what could I do to help other people to make sure what happened to my grandfather didn't happen to other people? And that really led me into the financial services industry, looking at different ways, life insurance and long-term care insurance and investment strategies that would have helped my grandfather and people like him. And that's, one of his biggest mistakes was just investing all his money in CDs. Back in the 80s when interest rates were 18 to 20%, that was great, but from there things kind of went downhill fast.
Yeah, no question about it. And so you're trying to help create a different narrative for people.
Yeah, help them to create financial independence, to have more options, more choices, to make retirement optionable. If you want to retire, you can. You can afford to do that. You want to continue working, you can continue doing that as well. But I want people to be able to build a wealth that can not only last their lifetime, but to be able to bless charities and organizations and ministries that are important in their lives.
Well, Jay, I know you used to be an advisor with a firm, and then you've kind of taken a bit of a different direction with what you're doing with the teaching and stuff, to the average investor now. And I know that I've spoken with you at seminars and webinars and stuff that we've done together. And what is it that made you go from the advisor seat to what you're doing now, the way that you're educating?
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with corporate America and just the, kind of the embracing of political and spiritual issues. It becomes more and more difficult to work in a a corporate setting and be able to have an open discussion with a prospect or client about their faith and their values. And really, for me, I wanted to have the freedom to be able to open the dialogue, to be able to talk to people about what's important in their lives. Do they want to create a legacy? How is their faith impacting all areas of their life? And finances, for a lot of people, they don't include their faith and values, and it's kind of like a compartment that's separate from everything else. And for me, it's something I'm really passionate about, helping people to really bring those faith and values back to the center of their life, and their finances included.
Yeah, I think there's a kind of a dualism in Christianity today. I think there's a lot of convenient checking your faith at the door wherever it's convenient to do that. It's an interesting phenomenon that a book written by Marvin Olasky, I can't remember the name of the book, but Marvin Olasky wrote a book on Christians in college, and he pointed out that you are more likely to fall away from your faith at a Christian college than you are at a secular university. And he concluded that the reason why is because the professors in those universities are checking their faith at the door. They don't want to mix their Christianity with their job. And meanwhile, the kids that go to that university, they let their guard down because it is whatever Christian university, thinking they're going to be taught in the context of faith. Whereas at a state university, they know they're being taught by secular professors, so they're more selective about what they take, what they receive. And I think that dualism is really pounding the church today, to be honest with you, and the believers in it.
Yeah, I would agree, and you're seeing that too, as more and more people try to incorporate their faith. They're able to do it, but then you have a huge part of the population, like you said, that's just really kind of backing away. And really, for me, it was more about pursuing and trying to find clients and prospects and subscribers across the world that really wanted to put their faith at the center of what they do.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jay, that kind of brings up another thing. I know, as far as, the average investor or the average, person that's out there working day to day, and, they just say, or even, athletes that I've dealt with that, they get extremely busy, and a lot of times you'll hear, oh, well, I just don't have time to do all this homework and research all this stuff. I know that's one of the things that I like about what you do with wallstreetrenegade.com, as far as, kind of giving people the cliff notes, so to speak. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, basically we have a 3-step process that we utilize to help people discover investment opportunities. And the first thing is we kind of have some guiding principles of types of companies we avoid. And these are companies that usually are in things like abortion and pornography and some of the vices like tobacco, alcohol, and gambling. So we screen those out of our investment pool. And then we screen into the investment pool companies that are improving society, companies that are creating life-saving cures for diseases, companies that are giving back to their communities, companies that treat their employees nice and do things for their employees. And then we also look at the financial metrics. So it's not just a moral-based screen. There's also the financial screening. And we will just, kind of lay this all out for our subscribers so they know exactly what we're buying, why we're buying it, and they'll know exactly that it meets our, kind of our proud to own process. So it really is an educational process that helps them understand exactly what we're doing.
By the way, I do want to mention both Chris's website, which is chriskidd.com, and then Jay's website is Wall Street, that's ST, wallstreetrenegade.com. It's not the full word, it's ST, wallstreetrenegade.com. Chris?
Hey, Jay, I know, you're talking about screening the different companies and stuff, and I know, when it comes to investing, there's no really cookie-cutter type portfolio or strategy that you can just say, here, this will work for every single person, because everybody has a different strategy, different goals. What are some of the different things that you do to meet different people's needs with Wall Street Renegade?
Yeah, we have a number of different portfolios. We have aggressive portfolios, some more income-generating portfolios. But the nice thing that we've incorporated last year is our asset allocation tool that helps people, really, if they don't know what type of portfolio they should be in, they can answer some questions, and then we can customize a portfolio for their particular situation. based on how much they're investing and how long they need that money. So we really have made it very easy for the average investor as well as the complicated investor who's more sophisticated. So we have short-term strategies, we have long-term strategies, but at the center of everything is our proud-to-own process. So that is really the meat and potatoes behind what we do. We find companies that people can be proud to own and have good profit potential as well.
Yeah, let me ask you about your the people that you work with. Where are they? You know, I noticed it's kind of basically a coaching service, correct?
It is, yeah. Somewhat coaching, and as far as the average person, we have people just starting out that might only have $10,000 or $25,000 to invest. So we have people that are multimillionaires. So it really varies depending on the person's goals, what they're trying to accomplish, and what they've accumulated.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Well, I know you've got a lot of people are getting into the option side of things too, and I know you've added that on there as well now. What do you say about somebody who is wanting to get into learning how to trade options or how to use those along with their portfolios? Because that's one thing that I teach a lot on, that if it's not done correctly, it can kind of blow up in your face. But if it's used correctly, then it can really be a fantastic advantage.
Yeah, I think one of the things that really we've seen over the last year, especially currently, is that things are very volatile. And if 2001 and 2008 didn't teach us anything, shame on us. And there are times where things can really go downhill quickly. And having an option strategy alongside a investment portfolio is critical, and that's why we rolled out the option strategy to teach people both some simple strategies that they can utilize to make money on the up or down side of stocks or indexes, and then also some more sophisticated strategies to either create income or hedge their overall portfolios.
I know you had a gift or something that you're doing, at least recently. If that's still going on, what is that incentive that you had for some of the listeners?
Yeah, basically we created this is our 7th annual one, but we created a special report for 2015 that gives our outlook on the overall economy, which areas of the economy we feel are going to do best, what are some companies that could double in value in 2015, as well as our top 10 stocks for the year. So we put this together. It's an 80-plus page report. It's our profit guide for 2015, and this is a gift that we're giving away to new subscribers. It's a $200 value gift that we're giving away.
Very cool. We need to wrap it up. Final thoughts from you, Chris Kidd?
Well, it's good talking with you always, Jay, and give us the website again real quick.
Yeah, you just go to www.wallstreetrenegade.com, and the street is ST, so it's wallstrenegade.com.
Great segment. Thanks. It's good to have you on again, and we look forward to talking to you again in the future.
Yeah, appreciate it. Have a blessed day, guys.
You too. When we come back, much more for you on tomorrow's program, actually on Monday's program. Boy, this week goes fast when you're having fun. Do want to mention that the best content here can be found over there at usdailyreview.com. And Chris Kidd, you can learn more about him at chriskidd.com, and that's 2 Ds at the end. Stay tuned for more on this great station.